this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the day's support, resistance and pivot levels, the MACDs, the moving averages and the Fibonacci's. It is Saturday the 29th of May. Demonstrating Bitcoin against US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, bullish start to the day here. Going to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 46,424 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 38,126. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 38,000 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 38,889 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin test resistance at 40 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 40,592. Failing to move through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level at 33,958 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 30,000 levels. Second major support level at 32,256 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a bullish cross at the turn of the day supporting this early upside. On the EMAs, however, still a bearish indicator with the 50 pulling further back from the 100 and the 200 suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot at 36,424 and break back through to 38,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, the support levels will be in play. Across Ethereum against US dollar, also bullish start. Going to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 2502 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2675. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from 2500 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and Friday's high at 2762.91 to cap any upside. We've also got resistance at the 38.2% fib at 2740. In the event of a broad-based crypto rebound, Ethereum could test resistance at 3000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2936. Failure to move through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level at 2241 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 2000 levels. Second major support level at 2068 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, got a narrowing of the bearish histograms and a possible bullish cross happening, so keep an eye on that through the early part of the day. More significantly, however, on the EMAs, the 50 is pulling further back from the 100 and the 200 after yesterday's bearish crosses, supporting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot at 2502 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, particularly bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fallback through the pivot at 181 to continue a run at the first major resistance level at 196. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 190s. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 198.92 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin test resistance at 210 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 214. A fallback through the pivot will bring the 62% fib at 174 and the first major support level at 162 into play. Barring another extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of 160s. The second major support level sits at 147. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histograms at the turn of the day, coming off the back of this rebound from late yesterday. On the EMAs, the 50 has flattened on the 100 and the 200, so need to keep an eye on that after yesterday's bearish cross. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 181, break back through to 190s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play. Looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, relatively bullish start. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.9101 to take a run at the first major resistance level, setting at 0.9742. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from 0.95 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high sitting at 0.98495 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, you could see Ripple's XRP target 1.1 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1.0490. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the 62% fib at 0.8573 and the first major support level at 0.8353 into play. Barring another extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.80 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.7712. Looking at the MACD, has got a widening of the bullish histograms through the turn of the day after avoiding a bearish cross late yesterday. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled further back from the 100 and the 200 after yesterday's bearish cross 50 through the 100, suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot at 0.9101 and back through to 0.95 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play.